10 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be living in Taiwan. And even 5 years ago, it was just a vague and foggy idea. So you got to be careful what you wish for, because it will come true if you wish hard enough. You don't know what the possibilities are until you leave the past behind. Remember a few weeks ago when I was thinking about staying in Taiwan for an extra 2 months? I was going to do that because I could apply for Zhenbao, Taiwan health insurance, but also because I got no reason to go back to Canada. Why go back in March, April when I can go back for May? So I decided to stay. So instead of staying for 4 months this trip, I'm staying for 6. That's the longest I've stayed in Taiwan since the year 2000 when I left, after staying for the best part of 8 years. So great news. I'm staying, and that means more videos. I have this feeling that people have a hard time changing what they're doing. Even if they don't like what they're doing, they have a hard time changing it. But especially if you like what you're doing, you have a nice life, you have a job and a truck, a cat. You think this is a pretty good life. And what you're missing out is a better life. So it's fun to live your life like a character in a Murakami novel. And that's what I've been doing. Murakami writes, he doesn't outline his stories, so he doesn't know where they're really going to go when he starts them. He just kind of follows the inspiration he has along the way, which is what I've been doing ever since retiring, really. Just following the inspiration that comes to me, like today in this video. Just whatever I might think about. Haruki Murakami stories can go anywhere. They have talking cats and not really ghosts, but spirits and things like that in them sometimes. It all seems very natural. That's the kind of life I like to lead. To be content with this kind of life, you have to believe that there's a purpose that you don't really know what it is. So you just have to believe in fate, or believe in nothing. Believe that everything's going to be okay. Just pretend you're like an animal, like a cat or a dog. I compare my life to what it was like 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. And it's mostly completely different. And I think that's a good thing. If you compare your life to who you were 10 years ago and it's the same, then I don't think there's any growth there. It must be kind of boring. Maybe not. One thing you don't want to do is compare yourself to others, because you can always find someone who's better off. So if you're going to compare yourself to others, make sure you compare yourself to people that are worse off than you. That'll make you feel better. Remember a few years ago when we had COVID? We were locked inside for essentially 2 years. We had our life interrupted for 2 years. I think that was a really good thing in some ways, because it made me, and perhaps a lot of others, take stock and start thinking about things in different terms. What I mean is, you don't really know how good you have it until what you have is taken away. And then you realize, that was pretty good. Of course, the opposite is probably true too. If you don't take the chance and move out of your comfort zone and try for something better, you'll always have what you have, and you'll never be able to experience what might be better. We see the world through our own eyes and our own experiences and our own thoughts. Whereas we should really try to see the world as a blank slate. That's really the core thought of this video. Yeah. You don't know what the possibilities are until you leave the past behind. You know, life isn't all about beaches and beers and beats. Not beats. There's pain and suffering too. And I think it's actually good to suffer sometimes. I mean, it's good to struggle. It's good to suffer. Because through struggle and suffering, there's growth. And life is all about choices. And often someone will give you a binary choice. Choose A or choose B. But usually there's a third choice as well. Or even more. So don't limit yourself to choosing one thing over another. There's endless choices. When you retire, if you're doing it right, you get a lot of spare time. In fact, all of your time is spare time. Spare time would be a good name for a bowling alley.
危险的事情都要那个。
Sí.